Communities are happening all over the world all the time. And it's one of the great joys of the work that I get to do, that I get to talk to people from all over the globe to learn about the kinds of things they're doing to come together and do meaningful work. Today, I'm going to be talking to Maryblessing Okolie from She Code Africa to learn about the important work that's happening with women in tech on the African continent. I hope you stick around for this amazing conversation. Kalisa, let's roll the opening credits. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever in the world you may happen to be. You've tuned in to Talk About Your Community. I'm Todd Nielsen of Clocktower Advisors, your host, and I really enjoy talking about live communities, online communities, and the hybrids in between. All of the things that bring us together as people, social media with the lowercase social, lowercase media, not these big platforms, but the private spaces where people come together, collaborate, make meaning together, and live better lives. I'm really glad you've tuned in today because I've got an amazing guest, Maryblessing Okolie from She Code Africa. Is someone that I think I've had some conversations with for maybe off and on about a year, and learned a little bit about her work. But today I get the opportunity to have a deep dive with her about all of that, and I'm excited to learn about the initiatives that she has going on with her online community. In the meantime, just some quick bookkeeping kinds of things. I've got a couple of events that are going to be coming up in the month of November, including Led by Communities Community Everywhere Summit and the Community Refocus from Grazidi Interactive. I'll be giving talks at both of those events. I'm very excited to support them. I see Francisco's in the stream today, so feel free to share a link to that, my friend, and get the word out. And in the meantime, the next live stream that we have coming up is going to be from Neval Daljic, a friend of mine from Turkey. She's going to be talking about from community member to community manager. What is that journey? That's going to be on November the 10th at our usual time here, 10 a.m. U.S. Central Time. And I hope you sign up for that. Last but not least, I wanted to say a thank you to everybody who has followed the Clocktower Advisors company page here on LinkedIn. We have hit, as of today, 1,000 followers. I am just really, really excited and humbled that so many have decided to follow, largely because of the live stream that we do here. It's been great to have people learning about communities through this channel and following us in the live events. So that being said, I want to bring on stage my friend, Maryblessing. Maryblessing, hello, welcome. I'm so glad you're able to join today. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Thank you so much, Todd. And thank you so much for the opportunity to be here today to speak about the work I do at She Code Africa. Yeah, I'm really, really excited and pumped.
That's so cool. I've been looking forward to this talk for a while as well. And I know we've had a couple of people tuned in on the live stream here, and we'll have some people who watch this afterwards. Just to get us started, can you tell everybody a little bit about what She Code Africa is all about?
Yeah, so She Code Africa, we are all about empowering and celebrating women in tech across Africa. Yeah, it's very key for us to mention Africa because any community can be serving women and girls in tech, but we are specific on women and girls in Africa. And we want to see them grow. We want to see them not just be in the tech space, but get to the point where they are able to like take leadership roles and positions in tech, right? So we're there to like bridge that gender gap, and we're doing it judiciously and with every initiatives and partnerships, we're able to like get our hands on. And yeah, that's pretty much who we are about.
That's amazing. Can you maybe talk a little bit about the origins of She Code Africa? I mean, how did it get started, and and maybe share a little bit from there?
Yeah, sure. So how it started was in 2016. Our founder had just finished high school, and she had so many challenges for someone who aspired to be in the tech space and really do amazing here in Africa. And there was not a lot of platforms that enabled her to be a voice in the space and enable her gain actual resource that's going to kickstart that journey for her. So she thought about, so why there is none, so why not start in myself, right? Then she started the community. We're pretty small, right? And before we know it, it started growing, right? We started growing, and it got to the point, I think early this year we were celebrating over 23,000 of us in the community. And as of today, we're about 36,000 of us in the community. And we're like, whoa. So the journey has really been really consistent for us, especially for our founder. She had that vision and she had to like run with it, regardless of the limits that were available or that surround her at that time. She was able to like skate through and was able to like bring help other women, herself and other women, give them that recognition, give them that voice in the tech space, create this a safe space for them. Very, very key for us, right? Creating a safe space for women to be able to like come in to have very unique and even personal conversations, right, about life, about their journey, right? And they're not wondering, or they're not thinking, okay, who would be there to judge them, right? So it's a safe space for these ladies, and we are really happy that we are one of those communities in the forefront, right, driving this particular force in tech across Africa.
That's really amazing. Could you talk a little bit about
Yeah.
the structure of the community? Yeah, how do people find out about this? How do women join, and then what kinds of things can people do once they've joined the community?
Yeah, absolutely. So for the She Africa community, so a lot of times we have more people. We have people joining in because okay, they've heard from a friend or a colleague, or a sister or even a brother, right? So that's something I've recently gone to like understand, right? People also are able to like find us and join the community, say through social medias. A lot of times when we have like partnerships with say other communities, right? And when they join in, it's just a very simple step. Is on our website. The first page you see the join us page, and they just fill in the little details and nothing much, just pretty much their name, email address, because we'll be able to like send them the link to join the Slack community, right? And also the newsletter, right? That we share informations and educative content with these ladies on a weekly basis, right? And I mean, when they do join, a few things they are able to like do, or I would say maybe gain, is first of all that safe space to like share about anything and everything, right? And secondly, we have a lot of partnerships, and one of which currently going on is the partnership we grow with Google, where we're looking to like empower 500 women across Africa, right, with tech skills, right, that is going to like prepare them for like for the future of work, right? And also maybe lead to like financial freedom at the end of the day, right? So these women are able to like gain access to these things, these opportunities, these partnerships we have like with partners. We also have like partnerships that could get them like maybe discounted rates to like maybe visit the gym. We are all about anything beyond tech. We're also about lifestyle, right? In the community, we pretty much talk about anything members are open to like talk about, right? And yeah, these are the things they're able to like benefit from, right? We have some structured activities that happen like say weekly, right? Aside the newsletter that have a lot of informations and educative things that we share with them every week on a Wednesday. We also have the times, we just gather around like a social mixer, have a quick chat, they share really, really deep things about themselves. Sometimes like, oh, you're sharing this with me. I feel so honored, right? So, they share these things and, we talk over them. And we also have times where, we like yesterday we had we have tagged the Tech Thursday, and we pretty much talk about products, tech generally, maybe what's the current trend in tech. And these women come and be like, oh, they learned so much today. They did not know this product existed, or did not know they're able to like do this in the tech space, but now they are aware of it and they're going to like take advantage of these things, right? So yeah, so this is just few out of many things they're able to like gain just being a part of the community. So yeah.
So first of all, that's wonderful. And you mentioned the partnership with Google for identifying 500
Mm.
women in tech. Are there other companies that have been sponsors or partners of this effort?
Um, for this particular effort, no, it's just been with Grow with Google, right? But of course, we also like have people, companies, reach out to us. Okay, they would like to like sponsor, they would like to like partner. For
Right.
instance, we just concluded our summit. Is the largest gathering of women in tech across Africa. We have people flying, from Kenya, from Rwanda, come join us here in Lagos, Nigeria, to have an amazing time listening to amazing speakers and get inspired, right? And that fire burns again, right, to do real and hard work, right? So we doing the planning for that. We had a lot of amazing people reach out to like say, okay, we want to like partner with you on these things. These are we're going to like support this program, right? We're being more inclusive and we want to like key in into this vision, right? Yeah, of course, we've had a lot of partners. There have been many of them, right, that have been like our support system, way since this journey started. And yeah, we still have more of them, coming to like say, okay, we want to like support this vision. How do we go about this? And jump on a quick call and walk them through how they can come in as partners or sponsors for the programs we run.
That's absolutely wonderful. I wanted to pause and do a quick shout out to a couple of people on the live stream. We've got my friend,
Right.
the Master Jedi Ilker Consul is on from Istanbul. Came on to wish you the very best. Also, a dear friend of mine, Sarah
Thank you.
Frasick. Yes, uh, Sarah Frasick.
Wow.
She's also a longtime colleague and friend. She had a question. She said, "Love learning about your work. Curious if you do any work in Sierra Leone."
Oh, right. So I have to be honest, in as much as we've tried to like cover a lot of regions in Africa, we've also not like touched, some specific countries yet, right? But this is also a goal for us in 2024 to actually reach those countries and those cities in other parts of Africa we're yet to touch, right? And I mean, this is the point I say, if you would like to like partner with us, so like have like a program, an initiative go on in Sierra Leone, for instance, or any other country you feel like, okay, this is where She Good Africa can come in, to support support women in that particular country, please reach out to us and we'll be able to like work things out, right? So yeah.
That's wonderful. And then she actually had another question here that I'll put up on the screen. She asked, "Do you have any partnerships with colleges across Africa?"
Okay, sure. So I think one part I did not mention is our chapter program. So what the chapter program is like we have like, see them as mini communities in different cities in Africa, right? So we have chapter leads that leads or that see through these communities, right? They're like an extension of She Code Africa and as an organization, right? So So far we've been able to like cover, I think, about 47 countries across Africa. We're still going to do more, right? And So one of the things we do with the chapter program is like, run campaigns, right? So an example of this campaign would be the girl STEM a girl extended campaign, right? We rounded that up few months ago for the year 2023. And what that is that we, advocate for STEM education, right, to women and girls, right. We go to secondary schools and we go to universities, right. And these are the things our chapter communities help us to like push, right. So they go into their city, they identify schools within those cities, and they reach out to them, maybe have like a collaboration with the principal, or whoever is like in charge of that particular school. And we come in with the resource. All they just need to do is make their girls or women available to us, and we train them on specific skills, right. So yeah, we do have programs that touch on that, and we're even having more to come. And these are like a lot of plans we have for the year 2024. So yes, to answer your question, we do have programs for college across Africa.
That's amazing. Sarah is very excited about this. I know she does a lot of charitable work in Africa. So she said she's going to reach out to you for sure. That's great. She's a terrific connection.
Oh.
The classes that women can take through She Code Africa, are these in person or online, or kind of a combination of both?
Oh yeah, I would say a combination of both, because we also want to like be able to like reach everyone wherever they are. So this is also where our chapter community comes in, right? Sometimes they have like in-person events, right? So I mean, the headquarter is in Nigeria, Lagos. So is almost impossible to always go, in these different countries to like have these. So yeah, so we organize or coordinate with like the chapter leads to like have these in-person events with ladies over there, right? So, but many a times we do have them virtually, because it's just easy for people to like participate in it, right, and not worry about maybe okay how to get to the venue, or how to like yeah, maybe transportation or whatever it is that we would want to worry about, right. But online it's very easy to just connect, right. And yeah, so it's just a mix of both.
Well, that's amazing. Uh, I'm wondering if we could talk a little bit about your journey as a community manager. Uh, Tell
Right.
me a little bit about how you ended up in the world of community, and maybe was there a moment where you realized this was exactly where you wanted to be?
This is interesting because I never had like a definite answer for this. I had started out my journey as a dev. I wasn't even serious with it, but it was just something I felt okay, it's interesting, and maybe I could give it a try. I did it for a few months, and did a few internships, and moving on, I moved to product management, and I managed the product for a friend who was starting out a company, right. We were building this product, and it was really interesting managing the devs, everybody in the team. But I didn't find that fulfillment, right. And I think later on I figured that, I mean, community management is an actual thing. I'm like, oh really, so you just manage a community and you get paid for it? Are you serious now? So I reached out to a few friends, right. And one person that has really been at the center of my journey from the start has been Omotola, right? Omotola Omotayo. I'm pretty sure you know her. So she has encouraged me a lot, and seeing that it's something she does, it was a really good source of inspiration for me, right. The way she does her work, and yeah, she put me through, and it was really interesting. It wasn't easy, but it was really interesting. And I started researching more. I didn't find like an actual space then to like learn, the way you have like say coding boot camps, coding this, coding that. There was none for like community community builders, right? I mean, at the time, so I was just like, okay, they say have be good with people, have good communication skills. I'm like, okay, I'll keep building that. Know how to write content, know how to. I like, okay, I keep researching on those, right? Then I stayed for a while, without a job, and I was like, I think I've got to like start putting these skills to practice, right? So what can I do? What's the way forward for me? I got a friend sent a link of a company that wanted to hire a community intern. And I was like, okay, I think this is a good start being an intern. So I applied, I got in, and that was like how I started. Then after that, my next actual community role would be with She Code Africa. And yeah, my journey into community started last year. It's not been so long, but I'm so happy and proud of my progress so far. Yeah, I think that's just me.
Well, you've got everything to be proud of for that. So, has there been sort of a standout moment for you in managing the She Code community? I'm sure there have been many, but does anything come to mind that you felt was a really great interaction that really pointed to the success that She Code Africa has been able to achieve through setting up this online community space?
Hmm. I would have to first point that first of all, that's an interesting question, because I mean there's just been so many interesting things going on in the community, because I mean it's very big, it's very large, but one thing, so I wanted to like point out that I think this is my 8th month with She Code Africa. So I'm still new. So I wouldn't know if there's just been anything that has drive like a lot of like, to quantify from when it all started. But yeah, there's just been a whole lot of experimentation I have been, getting my hands on in the community, right? From the onboarding process, I was able to like change a few things, right? And what else? What else? What else? Yeah, some community initiatives. I think one of my colleagues had to congratulate me recently for one, which is the what I tagged the super queen of the month. And the idea for that for me was to like have that mini me on the side. So when I'm not around, there's this person to like take up some things in the community, right? So because in She Code Africa, we refer to members as queens, right? And there's like, oh, this special person is like the super queen for the month, right? So
I love it.
every yeah, so every end of the month I use Common Rule. Shout out to Common Rule, is an amazing tool to like find so who is most more active or most active in the community, and we crown her the super queen for the month, and we give her the superpowers, the admin superpowers. It's so exciting, and they'll be like, oh, I can do the channel tag now. So it's just so exciting to see. So yeah, so and I also try my best not to like be at the forefront of things. I allow them like explore their ideas, right? I tell them, do you know what? This is your community. Just run it and however you want, right? Just, if there's anything confusing, just run it by me and we're going to figure things out together. Right? So that has been one thing that really stood out, because a perfect example would be during the summit. Everybody was like up and about, right? Including myself, everybody in the team. So, but we had the super queen for that month of September, and she just managed everything as if she was managing at home. It was so exciting to see. I didn't have to like worry so much. I didn't have to like. I was like, oh, this is nice. So I think that's just one thing. Yeah, even when I went for a leave, because I just came back from a 2 weeks leave, the super queen also like was, she was just there. She was just doing her stuff. I'm like, oh, cool. I was just on the side, just enjoying my time with family. So yeah, that has been one initiative that really, really stood out for me, right? There are more, right? This one really stood out because it's actually helped, to make things a lot more easier and move faster in the community. For a very large community like that, it really made things move faster for us.
This is really amazing. So, so the super queen is basically just a member of the community who gets to take over and run things for a month
Like,
or
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
wow. That this is brand new. I don't know that I've heard of any other communities doing this, and it's
Oh,
incredible that you've built this into the culture of the
yeah.
space, and that it's such an empowering thing about it. And
Yeah.
I love the naming convention that you have around this as well.
Yeah.
Super Queen that's just so over the top, rock and
Yeah.
roll. Yeah, so cool.
Thank you.
Uh,
Thank
yeah,
you.
um, what a great program.
Yeah.
I'm wondering now. So again, like I'm really open to questions from anybody on the stream as well. If you want to ask Maryblessing a little bit more about that. Um, but maybe sort of the opposite side of this. What do you see as the big challenges of the community right
Mm.
now? Are there some things that you're sort of struggling with, or that you're trying to plan your way through? That's a challenge or some kind of adversity or something that you'd like to overcome?
That's really good question there. Um, okay, so I think one thing that just keeps coming to mind now is onboarding new members, really, because I have to be honest with you, there's no day that goes by we do not receive at least 100 new members in the community. So so having to like, so there are some communities that when you find them, you just easily join the Slack, and maybe when you join the Slack, you're not able to like maybe give more details about, okay, your name. But this time around, we have to like carefully review everybody, because some persons are also like very funny. We have males apply to join our community. It's really interesting, I know. So yeah, so this is also like a filter process for us to take reviewing those applications very seriously, so that we're not allowing a male into the community, because we've had an issue of harassment before in the community.
Mhm.
I wouldn't know how he got in there, but had DM a lady, and she thought it was a fellow lady, and they were conversing, and it was like, send your WhatsApp number, and she was like excited. Oh, somebody, a fellow lady, wants to like let them connect beyond Slack, and only for him to send the picture, and it's a guy. She blocked him and was like, "Hi, babe, blessing. Do you accept guys into the community?" And like, "I'm so sorry, we do not do that. Please, who is this?" And she gave me the person's details. I had to like, revoke his access to the community, right? So yeah, having to like review new membership has been really daunting of recent, because the especially for the Grow with Google partnership, it has pushed a lot of traffic to us, and more people are getting to know about She Code Africa. And I mean, it's really exciting, but it's just also like, oh, more work, right?
Right,
So yeah,
right,
I
right.
think that's just one part that have really been. I don't know if there's a way to automate that. Anybody have ideas in the comment section, please let me know. But yeah, that's just been one part I've really been struggling with of recent. But otherwise, it's really been interesting having to like build with the community members, right? So yeah.
Sure. I do know that Francisco Apazzo, who is the guy who runs Led by Community,
Hmm.
runs a Slack. He might have some ideas for you on that front
Oh,
about the on onboarding. So I know he's
I
on the
like to
stream here.
connect.
Maybe you guys can connect afterwards and talk a little bit about that. I
Sure.
loved that you took these steps to protect the women in the community from this unfortunately predatory guy who came in and
Mm,
was trying to disrupt things. It reminds me a lot of something one of our recent guests, Lais de Olivieri, who wrote Hacking Communities, was talking about in her book about a group of women, and there was a man who came in. I think it was actually pole dancers or something like that. But a man came in and was kind of watching, and the woman who was convening that space, holding that safe space, really very strongly chased him out of that space. Um, so it looks like, unfortunately, I've lost Maryblessing here. So hopefully she'll be able to pop back in here in a minute. I know she had a little bit of an unstable internet connection and was working with that. But in the meantime, if you're on the LinkedIn live stream or on YouTube, would love to hear from you. if you've got some additional questions for Maryblessing or more general community building questions about it, would love to hear from you. I know I've had some opportunities to talk to people from some other groups across the world recently about women in tech or women communities. There's another organization, actually, Ilker Consul and I have had some conversations with Girl Power Tech, or Girl Power rather, Girl Power Talk. It's just so great to see the empowerment of women, especially in tech spaces. Maryblessing, welcome back. It's great to see you again.
Thank you. I'm so sorry for that.
No problem. I was just filling in a little bit while you were getting back online with us. Glad you were able to get back in. I wanted to pause also, and I know that there's another group that you've been actively involved with called Chaos, and I'm wondering if you wanted to say a word or two about your involvement with that particular group.
Oh yeah, sure. I'm very like what's the word now? Like, so Chaos is an open source project. It's a Linux Foundation project, right? And so Chaos is actually like a very, very interesting community, right? I'm just going to speak briefly on Chaos. It's an acronym for Community Health Analytics Open Source Software, right? And then what we pretty much do at Chaos is we develop metrics, right, that helps other open source communities stay sustainable, right? We have plenty metrics around diversity, right? Even down to the level of management or governance in an open source project. We have metrics around risks, right? We have metrics around events, things around, okay, you're having an open source event, so how diverse or inclusive rather is this event for folks, especially to say the marginalized community, right? Those in the LGBTQ spectrum, for instance, right? How safe is the space for these people? Accessibility, things about accessibility. When people come to your event website, are they able to like see clearly the text, even on your speaker slides? What is it like for folks to be able to like point out, oh, this is what is written there and all that? So those deaf, how do you manage to like include them in the event? So a lot of metrics we create there. And I got involved with the project last year through a friend, right? And we were going to join Outreachy, which is another open source program that educates people on open source. No, not educate. They're like a community that houses other open source communities, right? So you come in, you contribute to those communities, and somehow, not like somehow, like you get paid for it, right? For contributing to say like 3 months period of time, right? And I did not get in. She did get in, and her project then was Chaos. So I was asking her, so what's Chaos? And she like told me, and I got very interested. Then I joined the community, and to be honest, for like 4 months or so, I did not know how I was going to like contribute my skill as a community manager in a community like that. Because when you hear open source, ideally, initially, you would think code, you would think programming, right? So I was like, so what do I do here? So I was pretty much observing up until I think August last year, or was it September? I started like getting involved in meetings, and I was, understood a lot of things that was going on. And I figured that you do not really need to like be a programmer to like get involved. You just need to be active really and consistent, because we create metrics. A lot of the things we do are like on calls. We jump on a call like this. We have we have an open sheet where people suggest metrics, and we start identifying, okay, defining those metrics and its importance in the open source space, right? By the time we're done doing all of those, we now, move on to like, it moves to another group, right? We call it working group in Chaos. It moves to another group, and it's like, say, okay, this is amazing, and it's going to be a part of Chaos metrics. And as an example of that would be the metrics around what's that metrics? Is it quietness now. It's really new. We're still like working things, around that. And, by the time we're done, it's going to be like an actual metrics in chaos. So I got involved and I started, what I know how to do as a community person, welcoming people into the community, making them feel welcomed and safe, and sometimes also like facilitating Zoom meetings, right? And answering people's question, even the ones I don't know. I do a quick search on the Chaos website, or I go meet the community manager, and she tells me, "Oh, this is it," and I'll just go back to reply them, or this is how it goes. And yeah, I kept on doing that, and sometimes I contribute to the metrics we create on the calls, right? And pretty much to any discussion that happens, right? Then from there, I was appointed to be the tour guide lead. Oh, you were doing really amazing, welcoming people in the community. So how about you lead this new initiative where, and the goal for us is to like help people move from explorers to contributors in the community, right? We defined and the objectives and all together, and I started leading that initiative, and so far I have tour or have like a guide for over 10 persons that have joined the community, and it's really been amazing for me. It's like a home for me. I'm in chaos, right? It's my open source community, my open source home really, and I'm very involved in the things around chaos, right? Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah, I've had a chance to intersect with a couple of people involved with the Chaos Project. It sounds like a very worthwhile endeavor, and
Yeah.
glad to give them a little plug out on there. Kalisa has just shared up in the chat both a link to the Chaos community as well as to shecodeafrica.org for anybody that's interested in joining in there or learning more about those. Maryblessing, I know we're kind of coming into the closing of our conversation here. It's all too brief, but I
Yeah.
wanted to ask you, and I don't know if you have an immediate reaction to this or not. We didn't talk about this before the conversation, but I'm wondering. There are always regional differences or geographical differences in the ways that people prefer to interact in community spaces. I'm wondering, with so much of the online community professional world, tending to be either U.S. or Eurocentric or Australian, English speaking. Um, do you find that building and managing a community in Africa, are there some differences or some things that you've seen as far as advice that you would never do for the She Code community, or things that you think translate really well to the space?
Hmm. Okay. If I get your question correctly, maybe like say some things that like ways communities have been run in some continents. Is this something I'm looking to like bring into She Code Africa as a community that caters only for the African continent? Is that the question, or did I
Well,
miss that?
I guess I'm trying to get at, are there some, and understanding the fact that Africa is a hugely diverse country with lots of different nations, within it, and many different cultural attitudes about things. But as far as running an online community, a lot of the advice that comes out about that, a lot of the so-called experts around this come from Eurocentric or US centric, points of view. I'm
Yeah.
wondering if there's anything that stood out for you in your experience running the She Code Africa community that you say, oh, those things wouldn't fly here, with what I'm trying to create.
Oh, okay. I think I get your question, and I'm trying so hard to remember one of those advices I've probably heard somewhere. And the truth is that, to speak generally on that, the truth is that I also do not think every community should be like built the same way, right? There's also like, I mean, every community is like different, right? And there's a need to like structure or like plan strategies that particularly fits that community. And that's like the way it is for yeah, that's like how it should be for every community, and not necessarily about continent, right? Or
Sure.
the yeah, the race or whatever it is now, right? So I just feel like generally, right, that I don't believe, or I don't agree to the fact that every community should be built the same way. I don't know if others share the same, but yeah, I don't feel every community should be built the same way. And for real, there's a whole lot of these advices that you see, flying around, and it's just so obvious that it's not going to fly, because these people are like from a particular settings, right? It's just like, what's an example I will give now? It's just like talking about okay, let's say joining a session like this, for instance. There's a lot of issues around internet here in Africa, right?
Mhm.
And you're planning your event, and you're planning it to okay, yeah, I think a perfect example would be, I was speaking with somebody just today, and we're talking about, I'll be hosting an event in November, right? I'm like the master of ceremony for that event, right? And I was speaking to the studio guys. I was like, okay, I would like for us to shoot this in 4K. And when he was like, I mean, I am in the US, and in Africa, there's, low bandwidth, right? As when it comes to like internet connection, right? We don't want to shoot this in 4K, and people are streaming, they're not even able to like clearly see, this video the way we are pushing it out to them, right? So I think it's just best we keep it at 2K resolution, and we are 100% certain that at least 70% of the people are able to like stream this event and without any issues, right? And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. I didn't think of it that way. I just needed something really, really smart and really, sharp, right? And it was like, yeah, I get your concern, but this is Africa, and we also need to like put these things into consideration. And why did I say that? It also boils down to like, building communities in Africa, right? There are so many things you need to put into consideration, right, when building for people in Africa, because the way things are here is not just the way it is, in other places, in other continents, right? And it just makes sense. That's also why I love to build with the community and not just do it all by myself, because I am here in Nigeria. I don't even know what the situation is like in Kenya, right? And I have members in Kenya. I don't know what the situation is like in Togo, and I do have members in Togo, but there's that feedback funnel, right, for members to always share feedback with us, right? And we put that back into the community. And I mean, if it makes sense, we first of all obviously experiment. If it does make sense, it could be an actual thing in the community. If not, it's something we could just get back to them and be like, you know what, we've tried this thing and it's not really working, and we'll just stick to the old way we're doing things, right? And maybe we'll just figure things out, much later. But for now, can we just drop that, things like that, right? So yeah, I think generally that's like what I have to say to Diane.
Yeah, that's really insightful. No, thank you for that. And I thought as we kind of wrap up here, and maybe you think about anything you want to share with anyone about upcoming events or things that you're doing next in the community. I wanted to share some praise with you, Sarah. Thank you for the really interesting topic, talking about She Code Africa. And then another dear friend, Sala Sander, she's actually based here in Wisconsin, but Sala is involved with Internet of Things Consortium for the state of Wisconsin. And as a fellow Rotarian, I wanted to do a quick shout out to her. She just thinks you're amazing, which I completely agree with as well. So just wanted to mention that to you. So, Maryblessing, what's next for you? What are you excited about doing or learning or building in the days ahead?
Oh, right. I think this is a very hard one now. Okay. Oh no, wow. What's really next for me, to be honest? What's next for me? Uh hmm. Okay. So I mean, I'm very, very interested in upskilling, and that's like also why I was able to like I took part of the just concluded community collective cohorts, right? And it was an amazing 8 weeks learning from Paz and the rest of the team, and every speaker that came on board. Rich Millington, he came on board. There were amazing of them that came to teach us a lot of things, right? So I think moving on, I just want to like keep just stay up to date, just keep learning, upskilling really. And also I don't know, I'm just a very simple person. I don't want to say I'm going to start building a startup or a new community. No, there's enough of them in the world already, right? But if there's any way I could definitely support, definitely. But another thing I'm looking to like do more this period is speaking. I realize I have so much to like share, and I've been, doing my best to get involved with like, speaking to people about some of my experiences and some of the things I know, right? So yeah, I'm really looking forward to more speaking engagement, right? Nationally or internationally, right? I'm really, really open to them, right? Things around community building, open source, DEI. I'm a strong advocate for DEI. Based on the work I do with Chaos, we're really, really heavy on that, right? And yeah, I think that's pretty much for me. And when it comes to career wise, I think someday for me, I'm really, really looking forward to the point where I, maybe become a community consultant like yourself, Todd. And
Oh no. I think we've temporarily lost Maryblessing here, but I will just say that I think that she should absolutely go and do as many speaking engagements as possible. I think everyone on the stream here, or if you're watching in the replay, would agree that she has a wonderful, warm energy about her, and is doing some really interesting and innovative things with the She Code Africa community. So maybe in the minute or two left, she'll be able to jump back on quickly. But in the meantime, oh, here she comes. Actually, this is terrific. There we go. There you are.
it
You're
went off
back.
again. I'm so sorry.
I was just saying embarrassingly nice things
Yeah, I'm so
about you.
sorry. Thank you so much, Todd.
No, I think you're doing such amazing work with She Code Africa and with Chaos. You should absolutely be a speaker at many more community events because you have a lot to share. And I think you're, even in the short time that you've been doing the community manager role, it's clear that you are an innovator and that you're bringing a lot of good to women across Africa and beyond for all the good things that you do. So thank you for being on the show. It was wonderful getting to know you a little bit more. And in the meantime, if anybody wants to know more about She Code Africa, the website is shecodeafrica.org. And the Chaos community is Chaos, that's CHAOSS.community, to go ahead and check those out for yourselves. In the meantime, the March goes on this year for more talk about your community shows. Just a quick reminder, again, the next one is going to be from community member to community manager with Naval Daljic, a friend of myself and Ilker Consul. That's going to be on Friday, November the 10th at 10 a.m. U.S. Central Time, because that's where I live. But hopefully you'll be able to join us for that. And in the meantime, if you want to connect with Maryblessing, I'm sure she would be open to any kind of LinkedIn connection and outreach on that front to learn more. In the meantime, if you are thinking about it and so kind to do so, I invite you to like and follow the Clocktower Advisors YouTube channel up on YouTube. Comments are welcome. I always try to respond to everybody via comments, both on LinkedIn and YouTube as they appear. And I'm always honored, if anybody, spares the time and attention to log in and check those out. In the meantime, be good to yourself. Take some time this weekend to recharge and be well. And Maryblessing, I hope you'll come back on the show again and share more of your ideas and wisdom with us for your journey with She Code Africa.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Todd, for inviting me. This was amazing sharing this. It feels so therapeutical. I really enjoyed myself. And to everyone with the good wishes in the chat, thank you so much for tuning in. Please follow the channel and stay up to date with what Todd is doing. Amazing work he is doing.
Well, thank you so much. You're kind to say. In the meantime, have a great weekend. Build wonderful communities. And Kalisa, if you want to roll the credits, we are out of here. See you in 2 weeks.
Bye.